name is Ankur. I am here to talk about AI and youth. It's a very interesting topic. When the organizers reached out to me to talk about AI and youth, I said I would love to speak about this subject. You know why? Because I'm a faculty member and I'm teaching a few courses in marketing, entrepreneurship at a couple of leading institutions in the country. And I'm seeing the impact of AI in my classroom. Do you think AI is going to change the way classroom operate? Yes? Are you using ChatGPT by any chance? Yes or no? Absolutely. If you're not using ChatGPT, so I don't think there is anyone that does not know ChatGPT. So we are living in the AI era. We have been hearing some very distinguished speakers since morning talking about AI, how we should be using our Vivek, how we should be not outsourcing our most important part of our body, which is brain, to AI. So let's first get a sense of the room. What is this AI revolution that we are living in? This is a quick quiz. When I go to schools, I generally give out, goodies for people who give me the correct answers. But time to reach 50 million users. These are the 4 technologies: airplanes, internet, Facebook, and Gen AI. Airplanes revolutionize the way we travel in the world. How many years do you think it took for airplanes to have 50 million customers or 50 million users? Any guesses? 10 years? 15? Too low. Too low. थोड़ा बड़ा करो. 50? 50. 70? 70 is the closest. चलो देख लेते हैं. 68 years. It took 68 years for airplanes to get 50 million users. Internet? 15 years? एक साल तो नहीं. 25 years? Ronak sir is saying 25 years. चलो देखते हैं किसका आंसर सही आया. 7 years. Just 7 years, internet has 50 million users. अब आता है Facebook. 3 years. So, airplanes, internet, Facebook. 68 years, 7 years, 3 years. How much time do you think Gen AI took? 1 year, 6 months, 5 weeks. 5 weeks. And you can Google this. 5 weeks के अंदर Gen AI, ChatGPT was being used by 50 million users. Now, understand the enormity of this situation. The technology, which in 5 weeks is being used by 50 million users, and this data is a little old. I'm sure this number is now way higher in just 5 weeks. So this is going to change the way we think about life altogether. It's not a usual technology transformation or change happening, right? Do we agree or not? Yes. So January of 2025, I'm a PhD research scholar. I'm doing my research under Professor Dr. C. Rajkumar at OP Jindal Global University, who is the founding vice chancellor there. And I've been doing my research for a couple of years now in higher education financing. In Jan of 2025, Dr. Rajkumar asked me, Ankur, why don't you start taking a few courses? As you would have seen my introduction, I don't know if they mentioned it, I have been working in higher education for last 20 years, traveled to 40 plus countries, 1,000 plus institutions, seen schools and universities across Middle East, Africa, the developed world, Southeast Asia, a lot of the places that I've been to. And he said, you have so much experience, we will appoint you as professor of practice. Professor of practice are people like me that do not have a PhD. They are pursuing their PhD or they come from the industry, but they are asked now, as per the new NEP 2020, we can be asked to come and teach. So universities can appoint us and we can come and interact with young minds like you. So here I was, and I had never entered a classroom. I had always been in sessions like these for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour max, and then out. But then I had a whole semester to plan. And I was living in this generation where we had Gen AI being used by 50 million people in 5 weeks. And I thought, all of you young, smart people are using Gen AI. I need to learn to use Gen AI in my classroom. So I'm a big book reader. I love reading. So I started reading as much as I could about Gen AI in classroom. And I found these two books, very, very interesting books by Sal Khan. There is a brilliant website called the Khan Academy. Anybody has heard of this? Khan Academy, I'm sure you have used it. He is a inspirational guy. I mean, a person that has revolutionized the way education work and has actually made education accessible around the world. So I thought he's the guy that I should turn to understand how should I, as a teacher, use AI in my classroom. And this guy has written two fantastic books, The One World Schoolhouse, Brave New World, How AI Will Revolutionize Education. I really made them my Gita or Bible for my teaching. And in these books, I came across this personality. He was a very, very famous faculty researcher called Dr. Benjamin Bloom. Teachers in the room will know this guy because all the teacher training programs are focused on his theories. And one of the theories that he talked about is Bloom's taxonomy, which is a very, very, I think, no teacher training program anywhere in the world is complete until unless we talk about Bloom's taxonomy. I'm not going to bore you here, but in 1984, he published a research that changed how we think about learning. So his ideas were about the classroom. He said the classroom is managed in three ways, and learning happens in three ways. One is a conventional classroom where you have one teacher, you have 30 students. You know, traditional classrooms like you would be facing right now in your school or college, and you have standard testing with feedback. In India, we call this, most of our curriculums follow this model, where we have a test which is taken every 1 month, 2 months, and then you have the final exam. The most important exam in our lives, I am from a CBSE school, is the grade 12th exam, where we are judged for life. I mean, मेरे को कहते थे कि एक बार 12th में अच्छे नंबर ले लो, लाइफ सेट हो जाएगी. झूठ है, ऐसा नहीं होता. Yeah, it is. Because if you, and I always used to think about, I mean, why is this exam so important? And I felt ill when I was writing one of my board exams, and I was suffering very badly. And I said, why would anyone in their right mind judge me and my potential on these exams that I'm writing when I was not well. I couldn't even stand, but I was forced to go and write that exam. Definitely, I got poor result, but that should not be the stamp on my life, right? So conventional learning tells you this is the model that we are facing across the world. Mastery learning, which Professor talked about, is a different form of learning, where if you are 30 students in the classroom, we won't change, the class won't move forward until unless all of you say, yes, I'm happy with this curriculum. I have learned whatever I had to learn. So if everybody has to learn 2 plus 2 equal to 4, until unless all 30 of you say, yes, 2 plus 2 equal to 4, and I'm confident why it is 2 plus 2 equal to 4, the class won't move forward. Do you think this happens in real world? No, it does not, because you have a timeline, you have academic calendar, teacher has to finish the syllabus, it has to happen, and maybe 10 of you get it, 30 of you don't get it, too bad, we move forward. That's the conventional model. Mastery model will say, hey, hold on, my 30 students are still not confident about 2 plus 2 equal to 4, let me spend some more time with them, even if it means that I have to spend maybe some more time or extend the academic calendar. That won't happen because we're living in this kind of a world where we don't incentivize learning, we incentivize calendar learning, that we have to finish this by this stage. And the loss is for our students. And the final model, the tutorial model, where Professor Bloom said, you should be having, and this is what is happening in India with the coaching industry, by the way, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Why do you think all of you are going to coaching? Because you feel that there you will have tutorial, one-to-one learning, one teacher, one student. Does that happen in coaching right now? No, right? Yeah, let's have a confident yes or no here, right? Nothing. When I was in my 10th, This is a story I want to share. I failed in my pre-board of math exam. And my teacher called me and he said, this guy is going to fail. He is the first guy in the school that is going to fail the boards. You know what happened? This was December of 2020. This was December of 1998. I was the most ashamed person in the class. The teacher called my dad. He said, he's a loser. Take him away. In Jan of 1999, I got a blessing. I got a teacher. She used to live right next to me. Never had met her, but she took pity on me. She said, what happened? Why are you so low? I said, I'm going to flunk my grade 10 exam. And she said, don't worry, I'll take you in. She took me in tutorial. One teacher won me. The same guy who flunked pre-board in December, in March I gave the exam and I got 66 marks in maths. You can check my mark sheet. My marks came out 66 was as good enough as 99. So one teacher in 2 months transformed me from a 25 in pre-board to 66. That's where the power of tutorial learning is. There is somebody and nobody out here is a loser. I tell this to every kid. Everybody else, you has a potential. There is just need of one guy or one teacher to come and transform your life. So this is, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. We can clap for that. Because in India, we do a very poor job of teaching, right? And this is backed by data. When I read his paper, this is written in 1984 or 85, this guy actually did hardcore research. And he said, if every student in this world had one teacher that believed and encouraged that person, his learning will be 98th percentile. Matlab, agar 100 bachche are going through this education through conventional mastery learning and tutorial learning, jo bacha tutorial learning kar raha hai, his marks will be better than 98% of others. Isn't it transformative to have that one teacher? So when I read the Sal Khan, this is called the 2 sigma problem, by the way. Sal talks about the 2 sigma problem, and he says how AI is going to be that one teacher that everybody is looking for. But due to economies of scale, due to the calendar, we are not able to find that one teacher for every one of you. And we are forcing you to the factory model of just go through the classroom, go through the circle, get a certificate. At the end of this tunnel, maybe find something out of yourself. And Sal says that 2 sigma problem is going to be solved. AI is going to be that one teacher. Do you agree? Can AI be that teacher? Yes? We'll come to that. When did learning stop? So again, a very, very famous personality from US, Mackenzie Price. She is the co-founder of Alpha Schools in US. Alpha Schools are AI-run schools. So she says that my schools, we don't have teachers. We have facilitators. The teacher is the AI. And it's a very interesting model of schools, Alpha Schools. You should find this out. And the same problem has been identified. You know, education system is built for factories, not future. One size fit for all. Education does not work for all. Students excel at tests but struggle with real life problems. You know, mental health, a lot of things that are written here. I'm not going to take you through all of them, but basically that's the premise of AI in education. That 2 sigma problem will be solved by AI in education. And here I was, confident. I have read Sal Khan, I have read Benjamin Bloom, I have read 10 papers, I have read Mackenzie Price, and I am going to my classroom in university, and I'm like, I'm ready. Let's bring on the AI revolution. And then I entered my classroom. These are my students. I love them. They are not all of them, but this is from my first class. And I'm a passionate teacher. And I said, you know, I'm going to, because my own experience, my lived experience is that one teacher changed my life. And I said, I am going to change everybody's life here, some way or other. So when I found the Gen Z in the classroom, it was pretty interesting. And it was not, as you can imagine, it was not what I had imagined. Gen Z that is living today is struggling, to be honest. Very limited attention spans, right? Do you feel that you have limited attention span? Have you been able to listen to me for last 10 minutes? I'm sure many of you have looked at your mobiles, you have dozed off. It is hard for me at 43 years to have my attention span. I can't expect the least from you, right? I have this problem. I have a limited attention span. And my students needed to be pushed towards reading and writing. A lot of the time when I used to say that, you know, please read this assignment, please write this. Reading, they would be very difficult. Writing, and if I give them take-home assignment, they were very happy. Sir, give us take-home assignment. I said, okay, wonderful students, they are very happy. they were homework दे रहे हैं, and they used to come back, submit those assignments, and most of them will sound very, very smart. And I'm like, class में तो नहीं बोलता है इतना. The language, the English, the concepts that were being talked about in those assignments, I understood these are from ChatGPT, no rocket science for that. So I did one thing. I said, why don't you start explaining this? Please present this. Whatever you have written, please present. You know what would happen? Guess any percentage of students that were able to present what they had submitted? Less than 10%. So what was happening in the classroom? AI had made it so easy for students to copy or find information that they had no incentive to even struggle. Another challenge that I found was interpersonal skills. When I asked 4 students to work together, bhul jaiye. I won't work with this person. I won't work with this person. Sir, this person is no, she is not my friend. Or he teases me. I'm like, you are in the same class for the whole semester. Leave alone working with others. They would sit at the same seat at the same time together with the same friend. I am not comfortable sitting with another person. This is my experience. So what is AI? So they are all living in their virtual world. The most interesting thing about them was that I have 10,000 plus followers on my LinkedIn. Sir के 10,000 followers हैं, बहुत बढ़िया आदमी. So this was the classroom. So this led me to another book. This is a very famous book. And this guy is this guy should be read about. Neil Postman wrote a book in 1985 in US where he is talking about amusing ourselves to death. Amusing ourselves to death. हम अपने आप को मस्त करके अपनी मौत की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं. The concepts he writes about in this book is from the time the television started appearing in 1985 in US. AI नहीं आया है. ये बात कर रहे हैं amusing ourselves to death when TV came to the fore. And he said how TV has led to limited attention span. And he talks about how advertisements on television, which were about 45 seconds, he said, आजकल तो सब कुछ, in US in 1985, people wanted in less than 1 minute. And he says, we will lose our freedom not because हमें कुछ बड़ी power आके हमारे को block कर देगी, books ban हो जाएंगी, या whatever knowledge will be banned, it is because we will be so engrossed in amusing ourselves with entertainment. चाहे कितने chat GPT, कितने bots आ जाएं, अगर जिस दिन आपने वो मेहनत करनी छोड़ दी, this world will be a very, very, very different place. Thank you so much for your time and attention.